Hi everyone, this is Elaine. Welcome to Flat Earth for Dummies 101. Definition of dummy: indoctrinated in globe from birth. A spinning globe is only true in fairy tales. Only the truth will set you free. The lies were out to get me, to feast upon my brain. Free Masonic wormholes were to blame. Then I saw the way. Now I'm a flat earther. There is no curve, no globe in my mind. The earth is flat. We're the believers, don't eat the deceivers, those who lie.
It is generally accepted that the famous pole star by the aid of which mariners navigate their vessels is a fixture. The angle at which the pole star stands to London is 51½ degrees, to Frome, Somerset, which is in the vicinity where most of my calculations and observations have been taken, at an angle of 51¼ degrees. The distance from London to the North Pole, we are informed, is approximately 3,000 miles. To arrive at the altitude of the pole star, therefore, is an easy matter, by a simple mathematical calculation. Working to a scale of ½ inch to every 1,000 miles, we should discover that the distance from London to the pole star is approximately 4,500 miles. The most effective test of the accuracy of my figures will be found by using a tripod test, the angle to London being 51½ degrees, to Asia 52 degrees, and Colombia, Canada 53 degrees. Note the places mentioned are all in the northern hemisphere, as it is termed by the astronomers. By working to the aforementioned scale, my previous figures are proved to be correct. Astronomers' given distance to the pole star from London is 3,680,000,000,000,000,000 miles. Readers, please test these fantastic figures. Two figures are pictured observing the pole star through tubes placed on either side of the upper half of a large black circle. The pole star is directly above the circle. Again, you will observe that the least movement of the earth would destroy both angles to the fixed pole star in the heavens as above. For a period of 2 years, I have had a tube, 3 feet and 6 inches in length and 3/4 inch in diameter, fixed to a stand in my garden. Not the slightest movement can take place. On ascertaining the position of the pole star, I was able to view the star continually on any night over that period. The spherical shape of the earth, we are told, is tearing round on its axis at the rate of 18 miles per second, and also in its orbit it is traveling at a rate of 10 miles per second. And what puzzled me was how I could view the star constantly under such conditions. I communicated with several astronomers at various times, and one of the replies was that owing to the tremendous distance to the pole star, 3,680,000,000,000,000 miles, the tube may continually point to it, in spite of the two terrific movements of the earth. I want to definitely state here, the astronomers' figures are absurd in the light of practical calculations. Secondly, size and distance make no difference whatsoever. The fixed tube, 3/4 inches in diameter and 3 feet 6 inches long, is simplicity itself and absolutely reliable, and it would betray the smallest possible movement of the earth. Is the earth rotation theory compatible with reason? Before developing any further arguments and proofs of a stationary earth, I claim that the pole star experiment absolutely proves my case. The fantastic figures 3,680,000,000,000,000 given by astronomers as the distance from London to the pole star may be useful to them for mystifying purposes, but practical scientific calculations overthrow such impossible and absurd assertions. According to present-day teachings, there are two movements of the earth, one on its axis and the other round its orbit. The orbit, we are told, is 360 million miles round, and efforts are made by astronomers to explain how day and night and seasons function based on the theory of a rotating Earth traveling round its orbit. The first movement referred to is at the rate of 18 miles per second. The second movement, round the orbit, is more than 10 miles a second. Now, before we examine these sensational figures, I just want to remind the readers of the position of the sun as we know it to be. My house faces southeast and is built on Mother Earth as shown. Earth, morning, June 21st. In the evening of the same day, the sun is at the back of my house. Northwest, sun, evening. These are facts each of us know to be true. If this change of position of the sun takes place by rotation of the Earth must need to travel around 180 million miles. Note, astronomers say that it takes from June to December for the Earth to travel halfway round the orbit. We will take July 3rd. Astronomers tell us that at 8 a.m. on January 3rd, the Earth reaches that point in its orbit where it appears nearest to the sun. From January, the Earth will slowly recede, being at its mean distance 92,843,000 miles on April 1st, and its greatest distance 94,400,000 miles 2 hours before noon on July 3rd. The position is just the reverse of the statement. That is, the sun is nearer to us in the summer. Secondly, how does this work out with regard to the pole star? If the Earth and my garden thereon moved 2 inches, the angle of 51.5 degrees to the famous star would be destroyed, and I could not view the pole star through a fixed tube. Besides spinning round on its axis, the Earth is at the same time sweeping through space round the sun in orbit more than 50 miles in every 5 seconds. This means that while the Astronomer Royal and others were viewing the alleged fixed sun from 5:30 to 7:10 a.m., they were carried 60,000 miles through space, which is more than 4 times the distance from London to New Zealand, not counting the daily rotation. Please test these enormous figures. May I ask, how could anyone view the sun through a telescope while being carried through space at such a terrific speed? Is the Earth rotation theory reasonable? A fixed Earth only enabled us to view the eclipse in the sun. The astronomers tell us that the Earth completes 1 revolution on its axis every 24 hours, that the sun is continually shining, but as the globular Earth rotates, only half can and does receive the heat and light. What are the facts? We find the northern part of Norway, down to Trondheim, known as the land of the midnight sun, receives sunlight continually, night and day, for 14 days in June. How does the other places fare? England, Poland, and Russia, which are on the same side of the globe, they do not experience continuous sunlight. This phenomena is to be explained in the following manner. 2 disks, vertically divided between white and black. The disk to the right has an X with a dot on each side in the upper half of its white side. Norway, being a mountainous country, and the traveling sun reaches such an angle at this time of year which enables one to view it continuously day and night. The shape and altitude of the surrounding mountains would be a factor in producing this effect. Day and night, as we experience it, could not function with a rotating Earth and a fixed sun. You will be assisted to grasp the theory by now considering that wonderful illuminating body, the sun. The astronomers tell us, and scholars are taught, that the sun is stationary in the center of the Earth's orbit, that it is 330,000 times greater than the Earth. Astronomers assert that the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer on July 3rd. Important. Astronomers say that the Earth gets nearer and nearer to the sun each day from July 3rd to January 3rd. If so, the Earth must rotate towards the left hand to get nearer to the sun. Then how can we get sunset? Again, how can sunset be obtained with the circular movement of the Earth? If the P, Sir Norman Lockyer's term of the Earth, rotates towards the right hand, the P will get further away from the sun, and even then, how can sunset be obtained? Astronomy teaches us the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer. I contend that it would be utterly impossible for the sun, if 330,000 times greater than the Earth. We should be absolutely flooded with sunlight and heat, no matter in what part of the Earth we should be. We could not experience day and night, nor could we get seasons under such conditions. The distance from the Earth to the sun, we are taught, is 94,400,000 miles on July 3rd, that it is practically perpendicular over the Tropic of Cancer at an angle of 62 degrees to London. Assuming the diameter of the Earth to be 7,912 miles, and the sun to be at an angle of 62 degrees to London, the distance of the sun cannot exceed 10,000 miles. You will, I am sure, appreciate the vast difference between 94,400,000 miles, the astronomer's estimate, and my estimate of less than 10,000 miles. It is quite easy to work it out. I want now to draw your attention to a blatant contradiction by astronomers. They tell us that at midday on January 3rd, the Earth reaches that point in its orbit where it approached nearest to the Sun. It is then 91,843,000 miles distant. They contend also from that day the Earth will gradually recede, being at its mean distance 92,843,000 miles on April 1st, and at its greatest distance of 94,400,000 miles 2 hours before noon on July 3rd. Any reader may observe the sun approaching gradually nearer every day from January to July, and vice versa, and yet the absurd paradox is published in schoolbooks and broadcasted all over the world. That the sun can be nearer to the earth by varying distances up to 2,557,000 miles, in spite of the fact that the light and heat we receive is such that we all know it is winter, will require some digesting. I should like to draw readers' attention to the pole star once again. It is stationary and at an angle of 51½ degrees to London, therefore the least movement of the earth destroys the angle each time the movement takes place. We can always view the pole star at 51½ degrees to London, 51½ degrees to Frome, Somerset, only 7 miles from my garden. The pole star is stationary. No matter in what part of the world we may be, the hand of the compass points almost directly to the star. Undoubtedly the hand of Providence provided the ways and means for the human to find his way on long journeys, on land and water. If the earth is fixed, to what is it fixed? To this I would reply, we all agree the pole star must be a fixture. To what is it fixed? Regarding the sun, I contend that I can prove it is traveling. According to present-day teachings, it is a fixture.
A spinning globe is only true in fairy tales. Only the truth will set you free. The lies were out to get me, to feast upon my brain. Freemasonic wormholes were to blame. Then I saw the way. Now I'm a flat earther. There is no curve, no globe in my mind. The earth is flat. We're the believers, don't eat the deceivers, those who lie. I thought the globe was more or less a given thing. The more I saw, the more was fake. Was the moon a junkyard, the ISS a sham? When I wanted answers, I got spam. Then I saw the way. Now I'm a flat earther. There is no curve, no globe in my mind. The earth is flat. We're the believers, don't eat the deceivers, those who lie.